Get what? It, it, it. I'll tell you now, no time. We have no time now. Neal rushed back to watch Alan Anson some more. George Shearing, the great jazz pianist, Neal said, was exactly like Alan Anson. Neal and I went to go see Shearing at Birdland in the midst of the long weekend. The place was deserted. We were the first customers, 10 o'clock. Shearing came out blind, led by the hand to his keyboard. He was a distinguished-looking Englishman with a stiff white collar, slightly beefy blonde with a delicate English summer's night air about him that came out in the first rippling sweet number he played as the bass player leaned to him reverently and thrummed the beat. The drummer, Denzel Best, sat motionlessly except for his wrists snapping the brushes, and Shearing began to rock. A smile broke over his ecstatic face. He began to rock in the piano seat back and forth, slowly at first, and then the beat went up and he began rocking fast. His left foot jumped with every beat. His neck began to rock crookedly. He brought his face down to the keys. He pushed his hair back. His combed hair dissolved. He began to sweat. The music picked up. The bass player hunched over and socked in faster and faster. It seemed faster and faster, and that's all. And Shearing began to play his chords. They rolled out of the piano in great rich showers. You'd think the man wouldn't have time to line them up. It rolled and rolled like the sea. Folks yelled for him to go, and Neal was sweating. The sweat poured down his collar. There he is, that's him, old God Shearing, yes, yes, yes. And Shearing was conscious of the madman behind him. He could hear every one of Neal's gasps and imprecations. He could sense it, though he couldn't see it. That's right, Neal said, yes. Shearing smiled and he rocked, and Shearing rose from the piano, dripping with sweat. These were his great days before he became cool and commercial. When he was gone, Neal pointed to an empty piano seat. God's empty chair, he said. On the piano, a horn sat. Its golden shadow made a strange reflection along the desert caravan painted on the wall behind the drums. God was gone. It was the silence of his departure. It was a rainy night. It was the myth of the rainy night. Neal was pop-eyed with awe. This madness would lead nowhere. I didn't know what was happening to me, and I suddenly realized only it was the tea that we were smoking. Neal had bought some in New York. It made me think that everything was about to arrive, the moment when you know all, and everything is decided forever. Everybody went home to rest. My mother said I was wasting my time hanging around with Neal and his gang, and I knew that was bull too. Life is life, and kind is kind. What I wanted was to take one more magnificent trip to the West Coast and get back in time for the spring semester in school, and what a trip it turned out to be. I only went along for the ride and to see what else Neal was going to do, and finally, also knowing Neal would come back to Carolyn and San Francisco, I wanted to have an affair with Luann, and I did. We got ready to cross the groaning continent again. I drew my GI check and gave Neal $18 to mail to his wife. She was waiting for him to come home, and she was broke. What was on Luann's mind? I don't know.